welcome to Aqua Moon Tarot. My name is Katie. Thank you so much for tuning in again today to my very sporadic posting of videos. I really do appreciate it when y'all watch, even though, you know, sometimes I don't get to post these often. It really motivates me to make more videos for my channel when you all, you know, watch and like and comment and subscribe. So I really, really appreciate you. Today, we are looking at the next 6 months ahead. So this is a timeless reading. So whenever you see this, you know, right now it's early mid-July for me. So, you know, this will be for those of you watching around now through the end of this year into the beginning of 2026. But for anyone else tuning in, whatever year this is, whatever time, just take this as 6 months from the time you are watching it. Now, here is my asterisk. I normally don't like to do predictive readings because, you know, the future can change. You can change the future. And that's kind of my point with this. So I like to do more prescriptive readings. So if there is one of the groups that you do resonate with, and honestly, I suggest, you know, if you're attracted to more than one group, listen to more than one or listen to all of them, see what resonates. But, you know, when you pick the group that resonates for you the most, if there are things that, you know, a few things in there that don't resonate or you're not crazy about, the future can be changed. Do you know what I mean? I don't think anything's set in stone. So let this be a guide of what to keep, you know, aiming for or what to veer away from. If there's something negative in here that you don't like, then keep that in mind as you're going through the next 6 months. Because, you know, you're the master of your future, right? Your energy. Anyway, I really appreciate y'all again. Please listen for the group descriptions, like, comment, share, subscribe. All of that helps the channel. It inspires me to make more videos. Also, leave me some comments. What kind of readings would you like to see? What kind of decks do you want me to use? I have, if you watched my channel before, I've got a ton, and I've actually think I have a couple more now I haven't even used yet on this channel. So anyway, I digress. Let's get into the reading. So we have group 1, group 2, group 3, and group 4. I will add crystals if that helps. So this is the fluorite tower. This is unakite stone. This is obsidian. And this is rhodonite, not to be confused with rhodochrosite. Both heart-centered stones. All right, so group 1 is the fluorite tower. Group 2 is the unakite. Group 3 is the obsidian. And group 4 is the rhodonite. Take your time in choosing. The timestamps are below in the description box. Sometimes people like to choose if they see their lucky numbers, you know, however you do it. Anyway, I will see you in your reading. Thanks. Hello, everybody who picked group number 1. This is your reading. You have the beautiful fluorite tower. I'll just put that right here. All right. Excuse any background noise. My AC is very loud. All right. So today I did pre-shuffle. I just didn't want you to have to wait for me to shuffle. And we got 5 cards for you. So we're going to start with the Fool reversed, 4 of Pentacles, 2 of Pentacles, 6 of Swords, and the Empress. Nice. So I'm using the Before Tarot by Corinne. This deck portrays scenes that happen right before the original scenes depicted in the original Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot. All right, so we got the Fool reversed to begin with. So I really do feel like the leading energy for your message is unlike the Fool upright, the Fool reversed, I get to not rush into anything. I'm really getting that loud and clear. That was the first one that popped up like that. And I just got this message of, you know, don't, let's see if it'll focus, sorry. don't get too overwhelmed by certain energies, giving you the feeling that you need to be forced to like go or move or do or get something done right this second. This is not the case. So however that resonates with you, I hope that does resonate. So yes, just right now with the advice I'm giving and at this time, don't feel rushed into anything. Take your time, okay? Now we have 2 Pentacles cards here, which is very interesting. So the Pentacles are the Earth, the sign of Earth, so home, health, wealth, career, things of this from this earthly plane. 4 of Pentacles, and it's so interesting. And I honestly, I'm just seeing these all together for the first time. Some of them did not come out face up, so I'm just reading this on the fly. What was I going to say? And it's interesting too, because interpreting these in terms of, I know what the original Rider-Waite-Smith cards are supposed to, the traditional meanings of what they're supposed to mean, but I also read intuitively. So I go with, feelings I get, how the cards connect to each other, and what's going on in the pictures. So for this, I feel like, obviously something being offered, this is money. So it could be a new job, a new position, a new career. I get that, and it's interesting that, I said don't rush into anything, and then the first 2 cards you got were Pentacles. So Earth is more of a slower moving energy. It's more stable, grounded, literally. So I feel like with this, what could be coming up for you in the next 6 months is, being offered something that can help you out in terms of, the home, health, well, career, success kind of thing. Something in this earthly matters. And it could be that, you've already been working towards a certain thing, like say if it's a degree, and then look, you're being given job offers. If it's a project at work, this could be that, this could also be that you've done so well that you're then given more on your plate, because isn't that what happens? We do really well at work and we're seen as very capable, and then it's like, okay, you can handle that, here's some more. So that could be it as well, for some of you. But I do get that you are being offered some things, but this person kind of has a neutral face, maybe even a little judgy. So maybe you're not quite feeling what you're being given, or you don't want to show your cards because you're not sure of what to take. And again, don't rush into things. So this could take time to decide what to accept, right? For your future success in whatever avenue this has to deal with. But then we have the 2 of Pentacles. So we went down the 4 to the 2. And obviously this is juggling things. So this could literally be you whittling it down to 2 and having to decide between 2 options, 2 job offerings, 2 career paths, 2 different companies. It could be for some of you that if this is a health matter, it could be that, you've been seeing doctors trying to get answers about things, and you're given all of this information, and maybe it's like, I'm getting kind of like, it's not just one issue that you've needed help with, right? Health-wise. And so it's juggling, what do you get taken care of first? Does that make sense? So it's just deciding, okay, what's more important, like this surgery or this procedure? Because obviously, if you're lucky enough to have health insurance, a lot of times it's not free, or here, at least here in the United States. So sometimes you have to like budget, like, okay, I know I'm going to have to pay like $1,000 out of pocket for this, but I really need it done. Or this procedure would only be like a couple $100s out of pocket. It'd be easier to do just to get it done with. So that kind of a deal. Now, moving on to the swords. So we have the 6 of Swords. And this is the moment where they're getting in the boat, because in the original artwork, it shows them, floating away, sailing away. So, from one piece of land over water. Now this is swords, so it's the suit of air, which has to do with mental things, thinking, communication, short distance travel, and think about the air signs, also the traits of those. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But this is definitely going somewhere. And it's like you're taking your, I mean, I kind of get it as it's not wands with like, creative kind of talent, but it's like this, it's the swords are representing your ideas or your mental capabilities, and it's you taking your, you know, how do I put this? Your mental capabilities, your knowledge, what you've been working on, what you've been learning, and you're, looking at moving on. So this could be literally a physical location change due to whatever's going on in here. Again, if it's like choosing a job, a career path, maybe what's best for you is a relocation, or maybe you literally have to move to find the job that you really want, right? The opportunity. Some of you could be moving overseas, you could have the opportunity to move overseas. So, yeah, especially, so even though this is the swords card, we have water and we have earth. So actually I have 3 different elements in here. So the water, and the waters are the cups card. So it's emotion, it's relationships, it's feelings. And I feel like this move, this journey is for the betterment of your internal self. Obviously, hopefully it will mean, better for you externally, like more money, better place to live, things like that, being able to afford things. But this is also you, wanting to be making this move for more contentment, more fulfillment concerning inside your mind and inside your heart. So in your head and your heart being fulfilled, being satisfied, inside, because of the changes you are making or going towards on the outside, right? Okay, I'm just getting I'm seeing if anything else comes to me. Because then we have the Empress, and this is a major arcana card. So it's a big overarching theme. And this is having it all. This is happiness. This is contentment. This is, sitting in the middle of the field and enjoying the fruits of your labor. Sorry, let me try to, there we go. So, and this is the Empress right before, when she's being crowned by the dove. I get, it's not just success to be successful. It's content. It's emotional contentment. It's like fulfillment on all fronts. You know what I mean? Like physically comfortable. Obviously, she's sitting down in this nice throne with all these comfy pillows and with her family on her lap, her children. And she's in the middle of this, beautiful wheat field that she or, I don't know, her subjects have sown for her. And I really think this is a great card to have to close out the tarot part of the reading. I'm going to grab some oracle cards in a sec. But going from, oh, and also, sorry, the Fool is major arcana card. So you have 2 major arcana cards bookending this reading. And again, I get the strong message of, take your time. Don't just rush into something. And then the message of, complete and utter satisfaction and fulfillment. And again, I do feel like this is, like I said, interior, head, heart, and then exterior. Like your external world is going to change for the better. So overall, and again, I got to keep this a bit vague because I'm going to have hopefully lots of people watching this. But I feel like with this, it's slow and steady wins the race. Sorry, I'm working on focusing here. It's slow and steady wins the race because it's also about taking the time to figure out what is best for you, what works for you, what works best for you internally and externally. What are you able to do and take on mentally and emotionally? And also, what are you able to take on physically? Even if it's, especially that means a move, you know what I mean? To get to where you want to be. So let's do this one. Let me turn the light on. I start recording and then of course it gets dark. I like to use natural light. Okay, so I'm gonna pull some oracle cards. First, we're gonna do the classic Moonology by Yasmin, Boland. All right. You do get to listen to me shuffling this one. Anyway, that was really good. I think this is a good, solid, positive reading. So if you pick this one and it resonates, awesome. I think there are great things ahead, but just, don't get too ahead of yourself. Okay, full moon in Capricorn, the end of a tough cycle approaches. Nice. Move these a little bit. So there's noise outside. It's just started raining as well, which is really nice. I like to listen to the rain. Okay, so let me read this for you. The full moon in Capricorn. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Literally a couple days ago, we had the full moon in Capricorn because it's Cancer season right now. That's interesting. So maybe you had things, if you're watching this, like when I released it, maybe you had a lot that happened during this full moon in Capricorn. It was on Thursday, July 10th, 2025. That had to do with your job and career and things, or a move, something like that, because Capricorn rules the 10th house, and the 10th house is about career and foundation and legacy. So, or maybe the next, if this is for you, if the next full moon in Capricorn in 2026 is closer, maybe that's a big date for you, to work towards something, or, maybe some kind of a goalpost. All right. Anyway, the end of a tough cycle approaches. How hard are you willing to work for what you want? This card is reminding you that effort is required. Work issues may be about to come to a head when this card comes up. If you're wondering if you should stay in your job or leave, this card can be a strong sign to make an exit. The end of a rough time is forecast. This card also asks you to consider how ambitious you are and whether you're prepared to pull out all the stops to make your professional dreams come true without being ruthless. With a love question, this card can be a call to face reality. Whatever situation you're asking about, make a plan. Making a plan will help. See, make a plan, don't rush. If your personal life is troubled, prioritize it more. Oh, wow. And then other meanings, a professional project may be ending now. Admit if you have been overly hard-headed or hard-nosed. Find a balance between your personal and private lives. And it's time to stop fearing the worst. Interesting. Also, I know for some of you, obviously, you're going to come, to watching tarot videos and, thinking about love and relationships. Like, that's probably a lot of the reason why people watch them. And, this could also have to do with that, not just a job, because again, these Pentacles have to do with home. So, home, family matters. It could be you moving to find a better home. You figuring out finances so you can buy the home you've always dreamed of, to provide for your family. So, take that as you will, but I definitely get it's job, it's home, it's studies, but it's something that's going to show up for you in the physical realm. All right, so I've got the Numinous Astro cards. We're going to get a card for some guidance. They've got signs and planets. And you know what? I've had this deck forever. And I always forget to use it, but it's just beautiful. And I really like the artwork and the booklet that the author, Ruby Warrington, has written to go with it. So I will read the meaning. That's good. And it's thundering. Oh, we got two. That's fine. I'll take it. Oh, that's so funny. So Cancer. And we're in Cancer season, and Cancer is the opposite of Capricorn on the astrology wheel. And we got conjunction, empowerment. Cancer, the doula, conjunction, empowerment. So Cancer says, I'm trying to get these to focus. Feeling, sympathetic, comforting, nostalgic, protective, intuitive, birthing, tender, nocturnal, caring, moody, receptive, lunar, sentimental, introverted, defensive, family-oriented. And then conjunction, empowerment. We have combines with, enhances, strengthens, joins forces, activates, intensifies, authorizes, allies with, concentrates, saturates, overrides, overwhelms. Interesting. And like, what else is really cool is that whenever it is a full moon in Capricorn, the sun is in Cancer, right? Because the full moon is always the sun opposite the moon. And a new moon is when the sun and the moon are in the same sign, right? Full moon is when they're on the opposite signs. And like I said, Cancer, Capricorn are on opposite sides of the opposite ends of the wheel from each other. So when you have Cancer conjunct the full moon of Capricorn, sun in Cancer, full moon in Capricorn, it's when the sun is in Cancer. Sorry. Anyway, I mean, yeah, that's interesting. And we just had that happen. Okay, so let me go ahead. Let me readjust here. Okay, so for Cancer, it says, when you pull this card, the Cancer card is asking you to look at the balance between giving and receiving in your life. How much caretaking have you been doing, and where have you perhaps forgotten to exercise some tender loving toward yourself? We've learned that it's good to give, but when our own reserves are depleted, we can wind up becoming resentful of the very people we want to help the most. In the coming days, make space for things that fill your own cup. Cook yourself a delicious meal, cancel a few plans, and get some early nights. Cancer is here to remind you that self-care is never selfish. Cool. All right, so let's read conjunction. Okay, so conjunction. When you pull this card, when the conjunction card arrives, explore what you've been defending ferociously and where you might benefit from a little more loosening up. What habitual groove or less conscious behavior is starting to feel like it's doing you rather than being done by you? How can you take up space in a way that's neither offensive nor defensive, but that simply acknowledges your needs and desires and lets the world respond? The conjunction card invites you to ungrip your palms and stand your ground, noticing how deliciously solid the earth feels beneath your feet. Interesting. Sorry, just these, again, this is my first time seeing all these cards, so, you know, ideas and messages pop up as I'm reading and interpreting. Okay, so let's get some more advice. I want to do some dream cards. My sunny present. Oh, there we go. That was fast. Okay, here we go. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. The only time to start creating the thing that is meaningful for you is now. But remember that caveat, you do not need to rush into anything. Very cool. All right. Let's do more. Okay, let's do the Affirmators deck. I like this. All the decks I'm using are listed below in the description box. Okay. One card. And I'm also getting, like, it's interesting you get the Cancer card because we have the Empress. I mean, it doesn't rule that card, but, you know, the Empress is just, you know, very caring, very motherly. So, and then you have, like, the Capricorn energy, so a little more, I don't know, like, stern, to the point, more serious. So it could be also, like, you combining these two aspects of yourself going forward, you know, still being soft with yourself and others, but also, you know, being serious, being, you know, unwavering, keeping your eye on the prize, working hard, and being steady, you know what I mean, and grounded as you're going forward into this new venture, this new life, this new place. Okay, so you got, oh, nice, abundance. Let's see, is that, yeah. Congratulations, it seems you're due for an infinitely big piece of abundance pie. Feel like you don't deserve it? Knock it off. It's already plated and ready to hit your table. Reluctant to take it? Shut your hole. Abundance pie is big enough to serve everyone. So get your whipped cream ready unless you're lactose intolerant and enjoy your well-deserved metaphorical dessert. That's very cool. And I feel like, again, like, you know, this is perfect ending to the reading because you got the Empress, and that's, let me focus, sorry, abundance, right? I mean, I've said that before, and then this is what you're working toward, abundance. This is why you're making these moves, you're making these changes. So, and forgive me, I keep hitting the camera stand. I love this reading. I think this is really awesome. I hope that, you know, you've got something from this. I hope that it resonated. You know, keep this in mind going forward the next 6 months, even if maybe like this exact kind of situation isn't going on for you right now. It may come up, you know, come up soon. Right now we're in the middle of summer, but real life, especially if those of you who are in school or have kids in school, and kind of real life ends up picking back up, you know, business as usual in mid or late August, depending on when kind of everything gets back, all the schools get back, and life gets back to quote unquote normal, right? Anyway, thank you so much for listening to this. I really appreciate it. Again, like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see. And I've got all my information down in the description box. Thank you and have a good one. I'll see you later. Hello, everyone who picked group number 2. This is your reading. I did pre-shuffle these cards because this deck is a little bit awkward shaped for me. So sometimes it takes me longer than others. And sometimes, you know, I get it where the cards just want to come out, and sometimes they're a little stodgy. So it was a kind of a mix with that one. But most of these cards I haven't seen yet. And then I'm going to pull some oracle cards after I interpret the tarot cards. So those of you who picked the rhodonite, here's your reading. All right, I got the 5 of Cups. And again, this is the Before Tarot by Corinne Kenner. So it's depicting the images, Page of Swords, reversed images in the original Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck. Like what happens right before those classic images. All right, got the 10 of Wands reversed. Interesting. Ooh, Judgment, Major Arcana. We'll get into that in a sec. And oh, what we all love to see, the 3 of Swords. It's not so bad though. All right, so let's see. Looking forward to the next 6 months. Guidance, advice for what may pop up. All right, who has an orange cat? Have you ever had an orange cat? This is exactly an orange cat. So I have one. One of my sons is an orange cat. So yes, they can be very mischievous. And it's interesting because, you know, this isn't in the Rider-Waite-Smith image, and it just has this person looking away, and there are 4 cups upright and 1 cup spilled. We didn't know that there was this, you know, little orange cat, this little sneaky guy or girl, whatever, coming along and knocking it over. So that kind of gives a different perspective to it. And I feel like this person is very apathetic about it. And so, all right, cups are the suit of water. So think about, you know, what the water signs in astrology have to do with. So Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. So emotions, feelings, intuition, relationships of all kinds. And I'm just getting a very apathetic feeling from this. So maybe this is where you're at now. You're just kind of not fulfilled. Definitely like in, you know, relationships of any kind. It could be coworkers, family, romantic. There's thunder, so there's that noise if you can hear that, and my loud AC. So I apologize. Actually, the thunder's kind of cool. So with this one, I do feel like it's that you feel like so much has already happened to you, like, well, why not another one? You know what I mean? Why not another thing not working out, another cup getting spilled over? And I mean, we see some water here, but we don't see the other cups full. So you just feel like, you know, outside of you, you're not being fulfilled. So that way your inner world, your emotions aren't being fulfilled. Does that make sense? Yeah. And then for some of you, it could mean this is your sign to get a cat. I don't know. I mean, I love all cats, and I have an orange cat, but I'm just telling you what You get an orange cat. Just know what you're getting into. Very loving, but very mischievous. Okay, so we have the Page of Swords reversed. Let's see. Interesting. So in this image, it's right before this page is setting out. So swords are the suit of air, so thinking, communication of all types, short distance travel, also the air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. With this, it's like, so normally this character is, wielding that sword and looking like they're ready to go out and go forward. But yet we have it reversed, so it's the opposite. So it's feeling, I feel like it's feeling stunted or held back, especially mentally. You're not happy with whatever's going on here. You're not emotionally fulfilled. And you don't see a reason to turn around and pick up the cups and fill them up to go back towards these, let's just say relationships, right? Or these situations. But you also mentally don't know how to go forward. You need to, you're still finding out like what do you need to do to be satisfied mentally and emotionally? And it's, again, is it head over heart, heart over head, just, kind of topsy-turvy. Trying to figure out, okay, what do we do? Where do we go? We have the Ten of Wands. So this is the image. So in the original image, hold on, let me focus. The original image, it's the person is holding this bundle of wands and is looking like they're very tired and, they about just have had it. It looks like they're gonna, fall over. And in this one, it looks like the guy is purchasing the wands. So we have it reversed. So wands are the suit of fire. So it's like passion, drive, sexual chemistry, sexuality, fiery. So, think of the fire signs in astrology: Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Now, with this one, again, it's kind of like this, except it's not having I feel like it's feeling like you have a lot of energies around you, a lot of different things to consider, but you just don't have anything that's lighting a fire under your bum right now. You know what I mean? Like this could be like all these, different options and things you could go towards, or people, or relationships, or creative pursuits to really spark the fire in you, but you just don't have anything that's lighting a fire underneath your bum right now. And that's okay. So at some point in the 6 months, that's okay. Again, we're just kind of looking at this like objectively, like what's going on, how do you move forward? How do you deal with this? We have the Judgment card. So this is a major arcana card. So big overarching themes here. All right. So this is right before the angel blows the trumpet and wakes up these dead people, and then dead people go to heaven or whatever. We're not getting religious here, but this is like the traditional card is basically the what is it? It's like Revelations, the dead shall rise from their graves and go to heaven, whatever. Oh, is that fire in the hair? Interesting. We have a lot of different elements. So the major arcana cards aren't really tied to any of the 4 elements, but like this one, I think this is this fire out of their hair? And we've got, air, and then like air blowing the trumpet. We've got water. We've got earth in the background. We have all the 4 elements here. And this is a wake-up call, really, the Judgment card. But this is right before that wake-up call. And hold on, I'm going to tie this in a sec because I want to talk about this. So we have the Three of Swords. Obviously, classically, you've seen it with the 3 swords in the heart. But this is right before those swords go in. And again, and swords are, again, mental pursuits, thinking, communication, things like that. So this is like the thoughts, the ideas that go into breaking your own heart, that go into causing disappointment, right? But I feel like since these haven't gone into the heart, it's something that's preventing. It's like you getting this wake-up call and stopping or preventing something that would have normally gotten to you and, you know, hurt you emotionally, right? Hurt you mentally. It's like having knowledge ahead of the fact, figuring out something ahead of time to prevent this piercing of the heart. So I'm trying to figure out, how does it go into these two? And again, I mean, you know, we have emotions, not that this is a swords, an air sign card, but we have a heart here, you know, emotions. We start with the cups here, which is, you know, our emotions. But I feel like it's getting a wake-up call about something before your heart gets broken or before you break your own heart. Does that make sense? So remember, like, what we just, these two, with these two, it's like you can't go forward. You can't go forward mentally. You feel stuck. You creatively, passion-wise, you know, there's no fire. Something is holding you back. And we have like the apathy in this card. It's just, I feel like it's not false start. It's something doesn't want to go, but in the end, that's okay, because it's like, if these were upright and say whatever situation this had to do with progressed, it would lead to potential heartbreak, because maybe you went in too quickly or with too much fire and vigor, right? And I feel like it's this, it's almost like, okay, I just got in my head, only you can prevent forest fires. It's like having knowledge that gives you this idea, it gives you this, like, this wake-up call because of the apathy, the feeling like you can't go forward. And then it's just this aha moment with where you're saying to yourself, oh, I get it. I get why things weren't supposed to work out or were supposed to go forward so slowly. It's because you've had to figure something out or learn something in order to progress. But by you figuring out, learning information to help you on your path forward, it's like it prevents you from then going through this pain and heartache and like mental stress and anxiety, right? I'm trying to think if I put that correctly. Because sometimes words just come out of my mouth like stream of consciousness. So yeah, it's because of this stalling, even though you didn't mean to, you know, that I do feel like some of the stuff is out of your hands. Some of it's just like, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I feel like some of it's outside of you and that you feel like behind or you're not progressing. But in fact, because it wasn't rushed, you had more time to get information, or you were then able to glean certain information because it just wasn't whirlwind, right? And it's this contemplation of said information that gives you this kind of wake-up call that prevents this. And I know I probably said it the same way 5 times here with different words, but I mean, I'm also like clarifying it to myself. Yeah, interesting. Okay. And I'd love to know how this resonated. Let me grab you, some oracle cards. We're going to start with the classic Moonology deck by Yasmin, Boland. Let's just get one card, please, for group number 2. Group number 2. All right. Let's see. Here we get this one. Nothing is set in stone. Mutable moon. Very cool. And yeah, nothing's set in stone. So like, again, you know, this feeling of slow progress or not moving forward, it's going to change, and nothing's set in stone. And it's it's good that it's taken time, you know, like for once, it's good that something has taken time because it's given you more knowledge or prevented something. So let me pull this up. Mutable moon. Okay. Mutable is all, and I'm reading from the booklet, what Yasmin Boland says. Mutable is all about change, shape shifting even, that something is still developing. This card indicates that something is indeed changing and there's room for maneuver. So take it as a sign that the situation you're asking about is far from finalized. If you're not happy with the current state of play, that's marvelous. It means you could still change the course of outcome. See, what did I say? Oh my gosh. However, there's also a sense that the situation could perhaps be a little unstable. For some, this is great news because you can still influence it. Others will struggle with uncertainty, but should stay with it a little longer. Either way, nothing yet is set in stone. How perfect was that? Oh my gosh. Okay, additional meanings for the card. You're meandering towards your goal, and that's okay. Staying adaptable is the key to success for you now. Make sure you're not being led astray. Another one is, have you become distracted? It's time to focus. And finally, stay with it, whatever it means to you. Wow, interesting. Okay, let's do a Numinous Astro card. Oops. By Ruby Warrington, and I have listed all the decks in the description that I am using. One card, please, for group number 2. Moon, feelings, interesting. Instinct, nurturing, gut reactions, comfort, digestion, home, family, conditioning, habits, femininity, lineage, privacy, embodiment, emotions, sustenance, self-soothing, moods, and mother. All right, so let me read the meaning. Let's see. The moon. When you pull this card, what is your gut telling you that you haven't been paying attention to? Your instincts about the situation you are faced with are spot on. So how can you help yourself to trust what you know in your heart to be true and make your next choice from this place? The moon is here to remind you to take whatever steps you need to feel safe and secure in your decision-making process. Perhaps this means more alone time to nurture your nervous system. Preparing yourself a nourishing meal, stepping up your self-care, seeking supportive, empathetic counsel now would also help you tune in. Interesting. So there's some advice. There you go. Tune in. Again, you need, like, you know, go with your intuition too concerning whatever this, you know, this path, this journey, whatever's been presented to you. All right, let's do a dream card. Okay, my card for 2. Please. Oops, there we go. Instead of making excuses and telling yourself why you can't do it or why it's not possible, ask yourself, what if it is possible? There you go. Yep, what if it is possible? And again, using intuition, questioning things, not rushing, you know, using the knowledge you've gathered. All right, one more. We're going to do the Affirmators. This is one of the newer decks I just got. Just nice little added messages. I really like it a lot today. Ooh. All right, what's this one that popped out? Oh, here, I'll take the top one. There are a bunch that came out together, and we're just asking for one, so we'll just take the top one. All right. Confidence. Oh, I like confidence. Let me see if I can focus. There we go. In this moment, I take a step back and look at myself with the pride of a good mother. I see an abundance of abilities and talents that show up all the time in big and little ways. If I could stick myself on a refrigerator, I would. I would invite all the neighbors over and say, look at that. Can you believe what an A+ that is? So yes, it's having confidence in yourself and that you're going to make the right choices. You're going to get all the information you need to go forward why it is possible, you know, getting going with your intuition, because nothing is set in stone. Preventing just, you know, either preventing bad feelings in yourself or preventing tragedy. I don't know, you know, just kind of whatever, however you want to take this. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling. Again, please like, share, subscribe. Really appreciate it. Helps the channel out. And then obviously it inspires me to make more videos. Let me know what else you want to see. Let me know how this resonated. All my information's down below. Check me out on Instagram. And that's it. I'll see you later. Thank you for tuning in. Bye. Hello, everyone who picked group 3, the Obsidian. Ooh, lovely. I'm trying to use natural light, so hopefully it's not too shadowy. I prefer natural light when filming. Anyway, I pre-shuffled your cards. Excuse me, my sound. My AC can be pretty loud. So anyway, I shuffled your cards because I didn't want you to see me taking the time to do that. This deck, I love it, but its shape is a little odd for cards, so it's kind of like hard to shuffle sometimes. Anyway, again, we're using the Before Tarot, so it's showing images that are taking place before the classic scenes portrayed in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck. Anyway, so we're looking at 6 months ahead. So I've got these, and then after this, I'm going to pull some oracle cards. All right, so we've got the Two of Wands, Judgment, Major Arcana card, Moon, another Major Arcana, Two of Cups, interesting, Page of Pentacles. Let me see if I got these all on my camera. Okay, cool. All right, well, so this is your guidance from 6 months on from when you are watching this. So it is a timeless reading. All right, so I mean, I feel like it's kind of obvious, like, well, sorry to me, tarot reader. The wands here in the Two of Wands. So the wands are about, you know, creativity, passion, what lights your fire, things like that. And I'm definitely getting exploration here. So this is someone wanting to go out in the world or just explore something new, take on something new. And the Two of Wands is traditionally like that decision of where do I go next? You know, what lights my fire? So I really feel like there's a lot of introspection going on with you lately in terms of, you know, what's next. And it could be maybe you have an idea of what realm this has to do with. Maybe you're just like, you know, come on, life, bring it on. Maybe some of you want to literally move overseas. I am totally with you there. So yeah, I think that's awesome. And I think that if you were unsure about making some kind of move or doing something different, changing careers, again, changing locations, taking on a new passion project, a new, I don't know, job, something like that, this is definitely your sign to do so. If you are waiting for a sign, this is it. Okay, so we have the Judgment card. So this portrays right before the archangel is blowing the horn and the people are coming out of the graves, you know, like in Revelations, and floating up to heaven. Anyway, I just like to explain what's going on in the cards. So this is right before the angel is blowing the horn. And it's funny, I got this card again recently. Was it one of the other groups? I don't know. But it's like this angel contemplating right before they blow the horn. And it's interesting because I didn't get this message for the last time I've recently read this. So I really feel like the angel's looking down and is like, you know what? Is humanity ready? Is humanity ready for, say, the rapture? You know, I mean, I'm not like really religious by any means, but this is the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith has some like kind of traditional biblical imagery. I would say this one the most, but I would say this is like a decision that hasn't been made yet, and I really feel like it ties into this. And I feel so, Judgment being, this is a major arcana card, so it's not associated with any of the 4 elements: wands, cups, pentacles, swords. So it's a big overarching theme. I feel like with this one, this is you, having discernment, um, deciding on what's the next move, right? So it's, and I'm kind of reading this as a story. They kind of flow together chronologically and then also just all together. But sorry, sometimes I have to figure out what I know what I want to say in my head. I just don't know always how to say it. So with the judgment card, I really feel like it ties a lot into this. I feel like it's okay, you have a direction, but it's also what is the best for you at this point in time? What can you take on? What will benefit you the most in whatever way is needed? Like if you need it spiritually, financially, romantically, whatever. But it's really weighing the options of what you're thinking about and really having a good hard look. This is nothing to take lightly. This change, this endeavor, because it could be something long lasting. It could be life changing, like new chapter kind of deal. So it's just trying to have like good judgment in terms of like for yourself, right? Now we have the moon card, another major arcana. So in this one, it's right before the lobster comes out of the water. The traditional one, it's a lobster coming out of the water, and the wolf and the dog are like, what is that? And, there's these two towers. And anyway, so, um, you know, one of the traditional meanings for this card is it could be, illusion, dreams, things aren't quite as they seem. I do feel like, again, it ties really well into these two where it's don't let illusion or delusion get in the way of making the best, most informed, responsible decision for yourself. And when I say responsible, it's responsible for yourself, right? To do with your morals, your values, what your end goal is. Your responsible may be different than someone else's responsible. I can't think of like an analogy right now, but and I feel like with you have the two, the dog and you have a wild wolf. So this is domesticated. This is traditionally wild, unless you're into huskies. So I feel like this is duality, and this is which side of you, which just got this actually. Which side of you needs to be fed? So there's two different dogs, right? Are you going to go with the more traditional route? Do you need to go for the more wild, unexpected road? But also watch out for things that are odd. Things that are like, and I want to say too, like things that are almost too good to be true, because again, you need to have some discernment and you're in deciding where to go. We also do have we have the two wands here, and we also have the imagery of, two things right here, the two towers. So I really get, and maybe for some of y'all, it's literally two different options. Like it's a really hard decision between two things. So it's deciding, which of these will serve me better. Maybe the more traditional, easier route where, less judgment from family and peers, etc., if you care about that, or the more like the wilder route, the more unexpected, the like a 180 from what you're doing or what the situation is concerns with is now, right? A 180. So yeah. And then we have the Two of Cups, another two imagery. So this is right before these two people come together, like holding the cups, for some of you, it could mean someone else is coming on your journey or will be joining on your journey, right? So it could be like along the way you meet someone that's going to help you and guide you, or it's literally someone coming with deciding like, hey, I want to do this too. I want to join you. And especially if it's like this endeavor, you're doing like, maybe you're starting a new company, starting a new business. It could be someone that can come along and really help you out, like benefit your endeavors. The cups are water, so emotions, relationships of all kinds. It doesn't just have to be romantic. Intuition. And I feel like in this one, you know, the look on this person's face is, you know, this person's very serene and just shows up and like, hey, what's up? This person, to me, it looks like their head is cocked to the side a little bit, like, you know, like sizing this person up, but it looks like a very neutral reaction. Does that make sense? Like, and you can see that they have one foot forward, like they're going to go towards this other person. So in terms of your reading, I feel like this is a yes, you know, like, yes, do go towards this. But again, like, look at this person from all vantage points. Again, discernment and judgment. But I do feel like it's someone else, or it's something, but it could definitely be a person that, you know, is joining your journey that will benefit you at some point along the road, and that this will lead to fulfillment. So if you're moving, you know, or maybe it's someone even like, okay, so just an example for some of you, maybe a small percentage, but if you are looking to relocate, this is someone helping you. For some of you, it's say it's an immigration lawyer, say you want to move overseas, you want to move to Europe and do your thing. For others of you, this could be even as simple as, like, I'm getting some of you like deciding which school to go to, right? And so this is someone who's going to greatly help you in making that decision. But those are just examples. Take with it what you will. Again, this is a general reading and for, you know, the internet. So I have to be general, as general as I can with it. All right. Page of Pentacles. This is great. So the Pentacles are the suit of earth. So it's home, health, wealth, you know, career, things like that. And the Page of Pentacles is, you know, pulling this pentacle, let's say out of the, let's say he just found it in the field of flowers. And this is right before, in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith imagery, where, you know, he's lifting it up and admiring it and is inspired, you know, on what to do next, like on where to go next. Pages also, they deliver messages. So this could be like a message of some kind of income coming in to help you along the way. You know, it could be either gifted or something you've earned, but this is you plucking that pentacle out from this beautiful patch of sunflowers and using it to help you on your journey. So maybe for some of you, it's like an inheritance. Maybe it's a surprise inheritance. Wouldn't that be nice? But something coming along to really help you on your journey. However, because we are ending this with the card that's an earth sign, the Pentacles, this is, the Pentacles are very steady and slow moving, very grounded. So in your journey, how to get to wherever you're looking at going or whatever you're looking at doing, just be very grounded. Also think about your finances, okay? So keep that in mind. Don't be frivolous, but just be, you know, slow and steady. Slow and steady wins the race. Just put a lot of thought and judgment into it. Put a lot of discernment into it. Suss things out. But ultimately, you know, this could be very rewarding. So in the next, something that comes up in the next 6 months. Now, just a real quick, if there are those of you, on the other hand, who are like, I don't have anything going on, I'm not planning on, you know, I get it. We don't have to all have a 5-year plan. We don't even have to have a year plan, especially with how the world is currently. This is just, you know, I feel like for y'all, it's like, explore what's out there. Not that you have to. It's fine if you just want to, like, go to work, come home, go to bed, do your same schedule, your routine, because that's fulfilling to some people and that's okay. But what I get with this is, like, if you're of the latter group where I'm talking about, you weren't planning on having a plan or a change of scenery or direction in your life, maybe think about it, right? It's just like, this is some spark that's just being lit underneath you, you know, the fire underneath your bum. And maybe you do. Maybe you do need another direction. Maybe, maybe life isn't all about just coming home, watching reality TV, which there's nothing wrong with that. I watch Love Island UK. But yeah, there's more out there that you're not exploring. And just to like take a look at things that might give you more of a zest for life, a joie de vivre, just something, again, that could like light a fire under your bum. And again, have discernment, use good judgment, but it could be something that could be rewarding financially, potentially to you as well. So yeah, I really like this one, actually. This is great. Also, if you felt called to any other piles, I would suggest to watch those. There could be messages in them for you. All right, I'm using the Moonology deck by Yasmin Boland. Let's get these going and shuffled. And then I will relate how these, come into play. Now, we've got Waning Moon. What do you need to release? Let me fix these other cards. Okay. What do you need to release? I'm going to look up the... Let's see. Isn't that pretty? I love this deck. Love, love. That's the first, I think it's the first Oracle deck I've got. I mean, I had another one wasn't really crazy about. Not by her, but this is my first most beloved Oracle deck I've used for many, many readings. All right, so let's see. Waning Moon. All right. What do you need to release? The waning moon points to what's falling away. Life goes in cycles. And sometimes we need downtime or let go. No matter when in the moon cycle you pull this card, it's a sign that a situation has peaked, for better or for worse, and it's time for you to go easier. It's the autumn and winter of the cycle, so what do you need to release? Almost certainly something from the situation you're asking about. This card can be very positive, but it can still be gently suggesting that you let something go and stop trying so hard. Additional meanings: move forward with as little resistance as possible. Releasing emotional baggage is recommended now. Say sorry to someone. Do energetic work such as meditation or yoga, and soon you will see what lies ahead. Very interesting. So it could be that, a lot of you need to release something. Just say something that's not working in your life, bad habits, etc., to go on this journey, that we just spoke about. All right, let's do another one. I'm using the Numinous Astro deck by Ruby Warrington. And again, everything is listed in the, what's it called? Description box below. Try to get jumpers when I read for other people. All right, that one wants to come out. Oh, nice. Conjunction. Empowerment. Combines with, enhances, strengthens, joins forces, activates, intensifies, authorizes, allies with, concentrates, saturates, overrides, overwhelms. All right, so let's see what the author has to say about that. Conjunction. Empowerment. Let's see. When you pull this card, when the conjunction card arrives, explore what you've been defending ferociously and where you might benefit from a little more loosening up. What habitual groove or less conscious behavior is starting to feel like it's doing you rather than being done by you? How can you take up space in a way that's neither offensive or defensive, but that simply acknowledges your needs and desires and lets the world respond? The conjunction card invites you to ungrip your palms and stand your ground, noticing how deliciously solid the earth feels beneath your feet. Honestly, I think this could relate to the Two of Cups with, two forces coming together to further your journey, right? To further your endeavors. Very cool. And empowerment, like, hey, let's do this, card. It's a good card. Okay, so now I'm using the dream cards for Sunny Present. Let's see what messages. We got this and one more. And then I will send you on your way. Be curious in your everyday life. React with interest. To everything new life presents to you. Curiosity will open your mind for new possibilities. Wow, that is a great accompaniment to your tarot reading. And then one more. Affirmators. This is my most recent deck. I got it at Half Price Books. But it was new, I think. It was new. Gosh, fair enough. Just one. Get some jumpers, come on. One card, please. Oh, there we go. All right, we'll take the top one. Like the ones that jumped out. Self-love. Aww. I openly embrace a feeling of self-love, the PG kind. I love myself because I understand myself. I love myself as the most committed partner I will ever have. I show myself love any way that I can, and when I screw up, I remember to be sweet and gentle with myself. If not, I'm going to make myself sleep on the couch. Got that, self? Again, it's an image very much like the Two of Cups. So I do feel like, this is, and even that moon. So bringing two parts of yourself together to be your best self. Does that make sense? Like to help you on this journey. Embracing all of yourself and being unapologetically you, and not, well, I said unapologetically. I was going to say not apologizing for, which is the same word. It's just the same, means the same. But, not apologizing for the moves you're making for the betterment of your life and your journey. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm trying to think about, yes, okay. So like, share, subscribe. Again, I thank you so much for y'all who have been watching me, you new viewers. Trying to work on more videos, make time to make more videos. And all of your engagement really, really helps and, pumps me up. So I appreciate it. Follow me on Instagram and I will see you soon. Bye. Hello, everyone who picked group number 4. This is the Untitled stone. Isn't that cool? Like peachy pink and that green. I love Untitled. All right. Let's hear it. All right. So here is here are your tarot cards. Don't let me forget. I've got oracle cards at the end because for the last group, I forgot and I had to re-record. Well, I had to splice together my recording of that. Anyway, thank you for joining me in this reading. This is your guidance for these next 6 months ahead. Again, take it as you will. I am not saying this will happen. It is more of a prescriptive than predictive reading. And again, the future is yours to change. So take from this what you will. All right. 6 of Wands. Ooh, the Hermit. Everybody has major arcana cards. The Fool. Oh my gosh. 8 of Swords. Queen of Pentacles. Wow. I highly suggest, especially if like some of this, but not all of this resonates, or even if it all of it resonates, go and listen to group 3. Listen to all of them. Anyway. Okay. So the next 6 months. Wow. Okay. I'm just seeing these for the first time. I pre-shuffled for these, but I'm going to shuffle on camera the other cards because this would just takes too long. Anyway, I digress. I'm over a minute and a half in. All right, we have the 6 of Wands. Now this is the image right before the traditional image on the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot, where the writer is already wearing this crown of leaves, and has their head held high, riding through the group of people. It's rejoice, it's celebration, it's being seen for one's efforts. This is the fire element, the Wands, so it has to do with like passion, creativity, like what lights a fire under your bum, things like that, your drive. And I also think of the fire signs in the qualities of the fire signs in astrology. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So this is being given recognition. I feel like, okay, for some of you, you're going to be given recognition for something. Okay. So it's work, project, school, being recognized for a good deed, something. I have to keep this vague because hopefully a lot of people are watching this, but for others of you, this is a task that could be placed upon your shoulders, on your head, that you are glad to take on. This is not like heavy lies the crown, right? This is not a burden. This is something that you are tasked with doing. You either take on or are tasked with doing that will benefit you, and you will be seen as like noble or successful or, good things, right? Good things. You added the adjectives there. Then we have the hermit right before this bearded wizardy guy puts the star to light his way into the lantern. And then we have the, what is it? The time, what is that called again? I'm sorry, my brain's off today. That thing that tells time. The sand clock. No. I know this. Anyway, I feel like this is also the start. I'm trying to think. I feel like with whatever it has to do with, right? This being given a task or taking on something, you are going to decide to do this yourself, to go it alone, to take this on. But also, it could be that like you need some time to contemplate either taking this on or how you are going to accomplish it. But I do feel like that this is you and you alone completing this, doing whatever this has to do with on this, say, this journey, this project. Now we have the Fool. Now this is right before the Fool is, this is when the Fool is picking a flower right before it looks like they're walking off the edge of that cliff, right? The precipice that's shown in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith. And then the dog that follows him everywhere, this person. I feel like this is inspiration. Seeing these beautiful, what are these, like light purple? I don't know. Let's call them lavender roses. And admiring their beauty right before going off, into the unknown or going off. Because the Fool is like, it's not just like, it could sometimes mean going in head first without any clue. It's definitely not, I would say it's not like a planned, steady energy like a Page of Pentacles or Knight of Pentacles, right? But to me, I'm getting inspiration for your journey. So you're going to have time for contemplation again. And, besides like the dog, being alone, like doing this alone, but something is going to come to you in this time of contemplation that's really going to inspire you, and this could be like something you find within the 6 months when you are, say, working on this, or it could be what inspires you to keep going after this period of like solace and contemplation. Now I got this one. 8 of Swords. So traditionally, this is the woman, surrounded by all these swords, blindfolded, hands are tied. In the traditional one, we don't get to see their hands tied behind their back. In this one, we do. So look at this. So you see how there's a gap? And I always I'm glad they portrayed it like this, because a lot of times us readers will say the traditional meaning of the original artwork is, their hands tied around behind their backs, but they can't, they don't realize that their binding is a little bit loose. They can get out. And it's like, it doesn't look super tight, and this doesn't either. And so I'm glad that they portrayed it like this, because that's what I'm getting. So, Also, swords has to do with communication, mental pursuits, community, short distance travel. Think of the air signs in astrology. So that's Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And there is water in this, like puddles of water. So this could have to do with, just in my interpretation, um, emotions. I feel like this, okay, this just popped in my head. I just got, someone leading you astray and or like pushing you to do something you don't want to do that's going to be very anxiety inducing, mentally stressful. So I think with this one, for some of you, you may be able to see this ahead of time and just now and so you can avoid it, right? Now, others of you that do fall into this, when going into this endeavor, this project, this direction, this new direction by yourself, someone either gets in the way, like doesn't like what you're doing, tries to stop you, tries to steal your thunder. But I feel like it's you potentially being undermined, and put through or they're trying to put you through some mental stress. And because this is like communication, this could be like slander, hopefully not. But know that you are not helpless, okay? And this could cause like some, heightened emotion. This could, you're kind of stepping in the puddles, you're stepping into the watery, shallow depths of these puddles, because it is going to affect you. It could affect you emotionally. But bottom line is, don't let people push you around. Don't get caught in like mental cycles because of others, because of their either jealousy or they don't think you can do it. It's just knowing that you aren't blindfolded, you're not bound. You do have the capacity to get yourself out of this or even avoid this. All right, and then finally, the Queen of Pentacles. Now, normally in the original depiction, she's holding the coin, the pentacle coin. The pentacles are the suit of earth, so health, wealth, home, career, mostly tangible things on this earthly plane. Now, this is interesting. She's being given this by the snake. And you can see this one of two ways. So we can go the more biblical way and be like, all right, again, we're not religious here, but like, going with this could be like the snake that tempted Eve, being given like that apple. This could be money, finances, something given. That's probably going to be physical, like, a physical gift that comes from an unsavory source or an untrustworthy source, right? If we're going to see the snake as that. However, if you want to go the other route, this could be just an unexpected source. It doesn't have to be negative. And again, I think you'll know, and if it's the negative side, then this is like this one. It's a warning, just to, hey, look out, because again, with this knowledge, you can change your outcome, you can change your future. But just be wary of things being given to you that maybe like, look shiny, there's more to meets the eye, right? But this could be something given to you from a source that you're not sure that you can trust. And just, like I'm going to say with the last group, like use your discernment and use your intuition, and you'll know if it is right for you, if it is something that's going to help you, say with this situation, endeavor, project, etc. But I feel like, and it's so interesting because they're both wearing red dresses and they have dark hair. So if we're going to look at this like that, this is her and then this is her. This could be, for some of you, being like pushed into that corner, being pushed to anxiety, stress, getting yourself out of it and then, you know, getting yourself into this great place that you've learned the lesson, you've bypassed or gotten through the hard part, and then you are being gifted something, you know, wonderful. Hopefully money. We would all like that. Again, you know, did I say it with you guys or the other ones? Inheritance, the other group. An inheritance from an unexpected source. But I don't feel like we should always see the snake as negative. I feel like, you know, the snake could be like new growth, rebirth, because, you know, a snake sheds its skin. So this is also like you going through this process, going through some journey. It doesn't have to be dramatic, but, you know, something like that in the next 6 months. And it's going to cause you to shed your old skin. It's going to be an opportunity to shed your skin. It's going to be like, I don't want to say new chapter. I want to say next chapter, next iteration of yourself or your situation. You're getting rid of that old skin, exoskeleton, whatever. Yeah. And like in a good, sturdy, grounded place. I really don't get negative from this, and you know, but for a few of you, it could be a warning. Just, you know, and always be aware, you know, always like do your due diligence, do your research. Trying to think of some other like punny kind of old timey wisdom quote to give you. Anyway, I hope this fits, and I guess, I mean, we'll see, but this is a timeless reading too, so you can always come back to it, see what happened, see if anything panned out. Maybe there's a different group for you in the future. I'm going to pull some oracle cards. Okay, so we have the Moonology, the original Moonology deck by Yasmin Boland. Let's get some extra messages. Stay together, stay together. I like to have all my cards when I shuffle all of my decks. I like to have all my cards upright, and because if they want to come out reversed, then they really mean it. But I don't read these in reverse. All right, we had this one pop out. Nice. New moon in Virgo. So, you know, we ended with earth element. Virgo is an earth sign. A time to give rather than take. Let me show the camera. Okay, let me go ahead and read the meaning from the book. New moon in Virgo. See what the author has to say. Let's see. When this card comes up, it's time for you to take stock of your situation. Where are you and where do you want to go? The new moon energy of this card suggests a restart, and the Virgo energy suggests you make that restart a clever one that's simple and well organized. Virgo also has a strong health aspect to it. So if you've been unwell, this card suggests that your health is on the up. Virgo loves clean eating and alternative therapies, so add these into your routines now, however you've been feeling. If a situation is blocked at the moment, it could be that you're overanalyzing things or being too critical. It's time to ask less what someone else can do for you and to think more about what you can do for others. Well, that can be this too, you know? Again, and I do get, let's see, what was it? What part did I see? Suggest a restart. So then this, again, restart, like new something. And for some of you, this could be a health. If this is like a health goal, or like you realize, hey, I've got to take on this task of like getting myself healthier, inspiration, staying away from bad stuff, you know, take that as you will. Additional meanings for this card: gradual improvements are coming. Pay attention to detail if you want success without being pedantic. Be of service to others, and love and money will follow. The person you're asking about is reliable. But yeah, and also being service of others, we have right here again. So very cool. All right, I've got a couple more. So I've got the Numinous Astro deck by Ruby Warrington. All the cards I'm using today, the decks are listed below in the description box. This is a fun deck. I need to use this more often. I don't use it a lot, but I need to. I really like astrology. Whoops. Okay, that's too many. That's too many. All right, let's do this again. One card only, please. I like to tie astrology into my tarot. I mean, and you know, the tarot cards all have a different astrology meaning as well. And the elements and all that. You don't have to know astrology to like be into this, but it's fun. Okay, Mercury, communication. Cool. Words, thoughts, analysis, information, learning, trade, ideas, smarts, reporting, awareness, vision, lens, palette, perception, curiosity, narrative, muse, and wonder. Mercury. Okay. Oh, yeah, because I forgot Mercury rules Virgo. Mercury rules the signs of Gemini and Virgo. So, cool tie in there. The author has to say, when you pull this card, when Mercury arrives, you're being asked to shake up storylines and open yourself up to winged ways, winged, W-I-N-G-E-D, ways in and out of a seemingly stuck situation. Solicit new opinions, gather more information, do some detective work to smoke out what's actually true for you at this moment and what's a holdover from a past that no longer fits with your present. Know that no belief is set in stone, and let this mood ring shiftiness liberate you. Know that no belief is set in stone, and let this mood ring shiftiness liberate you. See? Liberate yourself. Mercury is a reminder that no feeling is final and that you get to choose the perspective that works for you. Cool. And yeah, so for some of you, I mean, this could definitely have to do with like communication, words. I'm trying to think how that would fit. I'm trying to come up with an example. Well, and Mercury is shifty in that the element of Mercury, like the silver stuff in the thermometers, it's always changing form and changing shape. So it's like being adaptable, right? But especially like in your thinking and communication when it comes to all of this. Okay. I got a couple more. Let's see. Using the Dream cards by Sunny Present. I get very self-conscious shuffling on camera. All right. One card, please. For group 4. Wrap up this wonderful reading video. Ooh. I like this one. If this were your last day alive, what would you have done differently? You still have the chance to do things differently. And again, my whole point with this reading, nothing is set in stone. None of this is. You can change things. You're just being given the heads up now. And one more. My new deck. Affirmators. I mean, it's not mine, but I own it. It was fun. I found it at Half Price Books. I think it was new, though. Support your local booksellers. I mean, I know Half Price is a chain, but it's a local chain. Well, to us here, it's, you know, not like huge like some of the big ones. Sorry, see, I shouldn't. Okay. Gentleness. I speak with gentleness and I listen with gentleness. I align with the gentlest part of myself and I take joy in being receptive, open, and unafraid. I am like a baby deer who's best friends with a baby elephant. The baby elephant wraps its little trunk around my shoulders and we lie down gently on the grass, daydreaming and talking about what sorts of humans the clouds look like. Oh, interesting. I align with the gentlest part of myself, receptive, open, and unafraid. I mean, that definitely, you know, I would tie that into, you know, this part of the reading, being open, being unafraid, being receptive, being perceptive to what's around you, again, with the sword. So like, you're, you know, kind of like thinking your senses, but you have to process them through your brain, right? So taking it in, gentleness. And I do think like, you know, being gentle with yourself along the way. This is not a very, it doesn't have a lot of fast, hurried energy, right? It's not like go, 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 get stuff done. It's just, it feels very calm and measured. And so I do think you need to be gentle with yourself because some of you may want to get something done or get through something or blow through some project. And that's not how this is meant to work ultimately. But it is your life. Your fate, you decide. I thank you for listening. I really appreciate your likes and your shares and subscribing. It helps the channel. It inspires me to make more videos, which I'm trying to make time to do more of. Anyway, check me out on Instagram. Information's down below. And let me know what else you guys want to see. I will see y'all soon.